It's Christmas Eve at the Playhouse. We're talking Pee-wee's Christmas special. Hit it. It was 1988. The World Expo was held in Australia. Stephen Hawking published A Brief History of Time. Schwarzenegger and DeVito were twins. And Pee-wee Herman learned a great Christmas lesson. I'm your host, Jerry D, with another episode of Totally Rad Christmas, the podcast that talks all things Christmas in the 80s. Toys, movies, specials, music, and fads. If it was gnarly during Christmas in the 80s, we got it covered. Now, joining me is a very special guest. You'll know him as a host of the Way Tubular Total Christmas podcast, Jack Ford. Jack, how's it going?
I'm spectacular. Thank you. And I like the fact that you said a very special guest, because I've noticed you said that for all your guests.
Right. You're all very special.
Very special.
Yeah. You know what? I think everybody's special. Yeah.
You're a good man.
Well, thank you. I do what I can, and sometimes I do more than that. But I really do. I think everybody is special in their own way, and I'm just glad you're here with me, because talking to people is one of my hobbies, and I really enjoy it.
You're good at it. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but I try. So thank you. How are you holding up this year? It's been kind of a crazy year.
Yeah. I try not to think about it. Just carrying on. I never mention it on my podcast. It's just one of those things. It'll pass and everything will be back to normal eventually.
Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. And people look back and say, "Why are they talking about the year so much?" But you know what? Now that I've said "year" a million times, I forgot that it is actually the secret word.
It's the word of the day. Yeah.
Good screaming, everybody.
Oh man! So, when I asked you on, I gave you kind of some suggestions, and right away you picked Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Here's the thing. I sort of feel like maybe I should have chosen one of the English or British specials that you offered me, because there was quite a long list. But I went for Pee-wee's Christmas Playhouse because I bought about 8 years ago. I bought it on DVD,
nice.
And I watch it every year, and I love it. But the bad thing is I don't know a massive amount about the show Pee-wee's Playhouse, because it was never shown over here. It's on Netflix now, and I've watched a little bit of it over here. But I never was familiar with the show. I only had the special, like I say, about 8 years ago.
Oh wow!
But I'd watched the film. I've seen all three films, and I was a big fan of the first one, and I didn't mind the second one as well. And then, like about 2 years ago, I watched the new one, Pee-wee's Holiday.
On Netflix, the one that
that's
the
right.
Netflix movie?
Netflix. Yeah. So it's all on Netflix apart from Big Top Pee-wee. That's not on Netflix.
That's a shame, because I mean it's not as good as the first one, but I enjoyed that one too.
Yeah, I like it. I bought it on DVD, and not on DVD. Was it? Yeah, it was on DVD, but then I sold it after I'd watched it. So I haven't got it anymore.
Well, compared to the first one's epic. You got those classic lines like, "There's no basement in the Alamo," and things like that.
I like the bit in the when he's on the payphone. The stars at night.
Oh yeah,
are big and bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that one.
And it hasn't aged.
Classic.
I watched it 2 weeks ago because sort of a bit more research for this,
right.
And it hasn't aged. It still looks great for a film that's 34, 35 years old, I think it is.
Yeah, because I think it came out in 85.
Still looks good.
And yeah,
85.
Wow.
Yeah, so 35 years.
So 35 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I actually did grow up watching Pee-wee and Pee-wee's Playhouse, and I even had the Pee-wee Herman figure. So those little figure, and my brother had the whole Playhouse playset. And he had like the chair and the globe, Globey, and the little magic screen. Cherry, yeah. And I think Conky came with it too. So, we kind of played, and then eventually I moved on to other things, and so he played with it for a little bit longer because he was younger than I am. So I remember watching it like Saturday mornings, and I didn't realize that it didn't show on over there in
No, it
Britain.
didn't. So, which is surprising because I think the film did pretty well in the UK, but just it never made it over here. I don't know about other countries, and if it made it to Australia or other Western or Europe and that, but sadly not in the UK. No, it might have been on like maybe cable or satellite TV.
Oh, right,
but,
yeah. So really, you didn't really know much about Pee-wee except from the movies and
no,
and
that's
the
it. The two
special.
movies, yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, it's Danny
And
Elfman.
he was famous for an incident as well.
Well, yeah,
That did sort of make it over.
that
yeah.
one little thing. I remember seeing him in the 90s in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he gets his arm cut off. He's a vampire that gets his arm cut off. That's like the only other time I remember seeing him in anything else.
Mystery Men. I remember seeing him in
that's
Mystery
right.
Men.
He was the Spleen.
Yeah, he played the Spleen, I think
Spleen,
it was.
yeah.
But that was a lot late. That was like 99, I think. When
I think
saw
you're
that in
right.
the cinema. Yeah, I went to see that.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
You did? Yeah, I'm a big superhero fan, comics and that. So, and
sweet.
That was a time there wasn't a lot of comic films out at the time. So when that one came out, I went straight to the cinema, and yeah, there he was with his amazing superpower.
He was cursed by an old gypsy woman, and
that's what it was. I don't remember that. I've seen it a couple of times, but I remember his power, but not how he got it.
Yeah. He kind of mentioned it's one of like a little throwaway line, and it's one of those where you kind of wish you had seen it because I think that would have been funny to actually see. But yeah, it's just like a little throwaway line that because he blamed her or whatever, that he would forever be he who dealt it or something like that.
I like that.
It all started when I was just 13 years of age. One day, while walking with some friends, I accidentally cut the cheese. Well, in my adolescent awkwardness, I blamed it on an old gypsy woman who happened to be passing by. Big mistake! The gypsy woman placed a curse upon my head. Because I'd smelt it, she decreed I would forevermore be he who dealt it!
Yeah, that was a good one too. I'd forgotten that he was in that. That's right. Of course, I'm a huge superhero fan too. So
good man.
Yeah, so I'll have to have you back on later, and we'll do something else Christmassy superhero-y. Best known for Pee-wee Herman. It's actually based on a character that he kind of did when he would do like his live stage show, like around the 80s, the early 80s, late 70s, and from there he got kind of like a deal with HBO, and it was like the Pee-wee Herman show, and he did that for a little bit, and then he ended up selling the character to CBS, and they picked it up, and they had a few notes, but they turned it really into like a kids show. And so then they
wanted to do
Saturday
a cartoon
morning.
Originally, didn't they?
They tried to do a cartoon, yeah. They pitched him, and he didn't like that.
Fan.
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting because I mean, I don't even know what a cartoon of Pee-wee Herman would look like nowadays, but especially in the 80s, it would be all sorts of bonkers. So
yeah, I think they did the right thing. Though I like live action.
I did too, and it really
did it anyway.
Because they did so much. They did claymation, they did puppets, they did the characters. It's a little bit of computer graphics here and there, and so I mean they really made it work. And it's kind of like a variety show.
Yes.
On
it's got everything. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
So it's really neat. I mean, it's of course it's no Bing Crosby or anything, but it's its own thing. But it's definitely very 80s, and it's definitely imaginative. In fact, I think Captain Kangaroo, even when that came out, I think he even applauded it for being so creative and inventive, and he said there's nothing like it else.
That's another one we don't have in the UK, Captain Kangaroo. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never got to see it. Yeah.
Oh man, let me keep mentioning these things that you guys just don't know. And
I know. We
missed out.
Man.
I'm sorry, it happens.
It's okay.
But yeah, so he had the show. It was on for like 5 seasons. I think there was like 13 or 14 episodes per season, and then he came out with this Christmas special in 1988.
Yeah, so this was the only season. This season only had 2 episodes, didn't it? And the special.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I've done the research. I'm sort of going to try and make up for the fact that I never got to see the show with all the research I've done. You see. So yeah, it was because it was the writer's strike. Is that right? There was a writer's strike.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he wrote this with Jambi, whose name I can't remember. The guy.
I don't remember his name either. And I list actors' names here and there, but mostly it's it's all right. I mean, I'm sure Mike Westfall and Advent Calendar House will have like the full detailed thing because he's always really thoroughly researched, and I just kind of drop tidbits here and there.
Okay.
So yeah, guys, check out Advent Calendar House. But yeah, I remember watching this as a kid, and then I forgot all about it for like years until, like you said, around 8 or 9 years ago. And I didn't buy the DVD, but I remember seeing it out, and I thought, oh, I got to pick that up. And then the Christmas season kind of went by, and I forgot about it again. And all of a sudden, when I was doing the show, I was looking up things from the 80s and trying to remember, and it popped in my mind. And so I wanted to double check because I remembered it as under a slightly different title, but like Christmas at Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's actually, I mean, depending on where you look it up, it's also Pee-wee Playhouse Christmas Special or Pee-wee's Christmas Special. It's like slightly different each time, which I thought
Let me see what my DVD says. Hold on.
Yeah.
Mine says Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas Special. There it is.
And that's what Netflix says too. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we got it right. Yeah.
But then if you go to like IMDb, I think it's actually Christmas at Pee-wee's Playhouse. I mean, it's slightly different things. So I was trying to remember if there was more than one. And
oh, right.
But I didn't remember like every bit. And so then I remembered things from here and there. And then I started to make myself think that there were more than one and, start psyching myself out. But no, yeah, it's just the one special.
Just the one. Yeah.
And I think it's actually quite brilliant. I mean,
yes, definitely. So does this not get repeat like showings on like network TV in the US?
No, they pretty much stopped showing it like in '91.
Oh, of course they do.
That
stuff happened to Pee-wee in '91. Yeah.
So we really didn't get anything Pee-wee until that Netflix, Pee-wee's Holiday or Pee-wee's Big Holiday, whatever it's called, and so that kind of started the revival. But a lot of that was because of things like Stranger Things and all these, these
of
80s
course,
retro,
the 80s,
yeah. And so then someone said, "What about Pee-wee's Playhouse?" And that kind of brought it back. But no, really, I mean, it was pretty sparse on the Pee-wee verse over here anyway. But yeah, I mean, there's a charm to it, and it's just like I said, it's very variety show. There's like, oh, this guest host, then this guest host, and then let's go to this and let's go to that. But I remember the actual cartoon special was like that too. The Saturday morning show was like that as well.
What the normal episodes? How long did they run? Do you know, like because
they're about half the length.
Hour, this
no, they were about half an hour. It was like 22, 23 minutes ish. But there was always where he'd jump into magic screen. There was usually Penny, that claymation, where her eyes are the pennies. That usually came out. And then of course all the friends would come out as well, but it was always really condensed into like a 22-minute special. So this one, they really filled it out. Yeah. And they brought a bunch of stars from like all sorts of walks of life here.
I know. It's a broad array. And all the stars came out to shine for this special.
They really did. I mean, it's like Frankie and Annette from like the 50s and 60s. And then, you got Little Richard also from sort of that area. But then you got like Charo.
Do you know, I'd never heard of Charo until I saw this. I don't know how famous she is over in the States, but she was delightful. I was reading about this because when I listened to it again, I watched it again and I listened to the commentaries. Okay. And Paul Rubens was saying that he'd met her in Hawaii before doing the Christmas special, and she was just like in real life, like she is on stage, she's charming and full of life, and so that's why he booked her in. See that. Yeah, and she's delightful. I love her. She just seems like so much fun.
Yeah, I remember her mostly coming out on like Love Boat and things like that. Okay. She was just a guest, and I know she did other things, and she's more famous for other things. But that's like where I remember her from. It's like she would come on Love Boat, the reruns. I'd see it, or Fantasy Island, and so it's like, oh yeah, Charo. So whenever someone mentions her, I always think of that, or I think of The Simpsons, because she's come out, I think, on The Simpsons a couple of times. And
shit, do you know? I need to watch The Simpsons more. Then I sort of stopped watching about sort of 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, so I remember seeing her on there. I'll have to.
I want to say it was like in the around the 5th season or so, something like that.
Okay,
but I'll have to go back but yeah, it's like a lot of little guest appearances is what I know her from. But she wasn't like, I wouldn't say super famous, but whenever you thought of like the Mexican actor or the Hispanic actor. You know, a lot of them would think of, you know, Charo. And so,
Aye, Shadow. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Do you know
so
what? She's actually apparently like a virtuoso on the guitar. And when I was watching it, I thought the first time I saw it, it looked like she's just slapping the guitar, just messing around, like pretending to play. But if you watch closely, she's got amazing finger work. Like she's really brilliant. And I was like, oh yeah.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
But it just the way, it looks like she's awful, but it turns out she's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's funny because it starts off, you know, with the guitar and she's kind of playing, but then it kind of breaks away from it. But I noticed, she was, you know, hammering on and pulling off and stuff like that with her left hand. The bar chords, and then of course she goes into C. So I guess she's more of like an alto, but. I thought that was kind of cool. Just noticing that. I noticed that as well because I'm a guitarist, and
okay.
So I was like, hey, I think she's actually playing that.
Yeah. Well, I think she was the only one that performed live.
Oh, was she?
That's what they said. That's what a lot of this I'm getting from the commentaries.
Nice.
So that's.
See, and I haven't heard the commentary, so this is all great information. So keep it up, man. I'll have to pay you some sort of fee for that. No, but yeah, I liked her, and I gotta say, I actually really enjoyed a lot of the music from the special, and we'll go through it. You know, we'll go through the whole thing step by step. But when Grace Jones sang, I enjoyed her bit. I mean, it was very 80s. I almost got like a Eurythmics type vibe from the.
It was very Grace Jones. It was sort of a bit slave to the rhythm type song. I thought
pretty much, yeah.
They told me,
But I kind of enjoyed a lot of it, honestly, and I wouldn't mind like tracking down like an album if they ever released one, or even
soundtrack album, yeah.
I don't know if they did.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. You know, I was able to track down a Strawberry Shortcake and Rainbow Bright albums, their Christmas albums. So you never know; they might be out there somewhere.
This is new to me. This is Rainbow Bright had a Christmas album.
Yes,
has she got a broad discography, or was it just a Christmas album she did?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just looking up like things, you know, how do I tie in some of these 80s Christmas cartoons with Christmas, or 80s cartoons with Christmas, and Rainbow Bright came up with that album. Same thing with Strawberry Shortcake, and so I started looking.
Yeah, I was never a Strawberry Shortcake fan, but I was young enough that I enjoyed Rainbow Bright, I think.
See, and I wasn't, because I always thought them more as like they were a little too girly for me.
I think I was young enough at the time that it didn't matter that it was so girly. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember
it was a cartoon.
I remember watching the Rainbow Bright movie. I did see that, but overall, I didn't really watch it. Same thing with Strawberry Shortcake, but I have friends that did, and they have requested coming on to talk about stuff like that. So so I ended up tracking down those albums. So you never know. I mean, there might be a Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas special album somewhere. I don't know. I mean, I guess we can go ahead and get into it here. It starts off. Almost, it reminded me a little bit of like the Rankin Bass special.
Oh yes, with the animation. First time I watched it, I remember seeing that and thinking, I'm going to love this. And I did, obviously.
Yeah.
But I love that animation at the start. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. The little fox, he kind of going, and then we cut to like a beautiful picture of the actual Playhouse, which I always wanted. I wanted a clubhouse like that so bad growing up. And of course I never got one. I did get a clubhouse, but it was nothing like that. So yeah, I saw it and it was great. And I thought, okay, I'm back into the world. And we cut to like the UCLA men's chorus singing.
I know, dressed as Marines. They tried to get the Marines apparently, but the Marines were booked up. It was in November they filmed it, I think they said, and they couldn't get the Marines, so they ended up using the UCLA men's choir. Yeah.
It's Christmas in the Playhouse, and the hearts are all aglow as we welcome you to the Playhouse and to Pee-wee's Christmas special. Oh,
Yeah, so
But I've got to
dressed-
say about that song,
Yeah.
I've written it down. It says, I'm not going to sing. I'll almost sing it. It's Christmas in the Playhouse and our hearts are all aglow. That's that
Aglow.
tune. Let me try again. It's Christmas in the Playhouse and our hearts are all. No, I can't do it.
That's okay.
All aglow. Yeah, edit it. Auto tune me in.
Okay.
As we welcome you to the Playhouse and Pee-wee's Christmas special, and I just say Pee-wee's Christmas show. Just
yeah.
say it. You know you want the rhyme. I need the rhyme, and they special. I know it's a joke, but I found it's every time it's like, oh no, say show. I want to sing along.
But that's so Pee-wee Herman. He kind of like you expect something to happen, and then he kind of goes the other way. So like in just a little bit when Miss Yvonne comes out, and she has like the mistletoe in her hair and she's going around like kissing everybody. And then he even says something like, well, before you go around making out with everybody.
That's right. Yeah, he does. I love that line. Yeah, I've watched it like 5 times researching it, and it was only the last time I watched it that I caught that line when he says that. It's brilliant. Making out with it.
It's like you wouldn't expect that to happen. You're just thinking, oh, okay, well, before you go, giving everybody a little peck or you go stand under the mistletoe. But no, it's before you go making out with someone. But yeah, so the men's chorus are singing, and then we get like this whole intro song, which is like very, variety special to me and Christmas show kind of a thing. And so
he's got the 2 backing singers. They're gorgeous.
Yes.
They're doing the shoulder movements. I think I must have a thing about shoulders, because when they're doing their shoulder shrugs, I'm like, oh, I like that. But the one on, I think it's the one on the left is, I've written this down, is Nikki Harris, and she was one of Madonna's backing singers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the one on the left, and she also sung on a lot of the singles by Snap. I don't know if you remember Snap. They were like big in the 90s. It's not really totally rad. It's a bit, they sung I Got the Power.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know that song.
I don't think she sang on that one. She sang on some of their other songs, so she's like a guest artist. But yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So well, I like it because they're all dressed in like the 60s, like Ronettes, Supremes kind of style. The big sequin golden dresses and like the big hairdo. I don't know what the name of that hairstyle is called, but it's so, I mean, it's so eclectic.
Yes,
I don't even know where to like begin, honestly, just because it's so eclectic. But at the same time, a lot of everything about it is very 80s, which is kind of strange. It's like they take all these things and just fit it into like this special with the robot. Of course, you got to have a robot. It's the 80s.
In the 80s, yeah.
and the magic screen and a pterodactyl because dinosaurs, I guess. And I mean, it really is bonkers, but it's so good. But yeah, so they do this whole thing, and he announces that, welcome to my Christmas special. And so I really enjoyed that bit because he's like fully breaking like the fourth wall. Like, no, this is my special here, and this is what we're doing. And so I thought that was kind of cool. From here, we kind of go to the next segment, which is him talking with Conky and adding things to his Christmas list.
Yes,
and I think he lists like 10 things or so. Just,
I know he gets the people at home to shout out what he should be asking Santa for, doesn't he?
Yes, yes.
What would you put on my Christmas list if you were me? A new car? Cooking utensils? Cash? Good idea. Always a practical gift. Yo-yo? Put yo-yo on the list, Conky.
And so he's like, a yo-yo. Okay, yeah. And
the yo-yo. Yes. But so he's got a yo-yo.
Yes. And so she's like, you've got a yo-yo. And then, of course, we get the whole little bit about where he plays with his yo-yo. Or, well, first, he goes into his vault, which I thought was kind of funny. And so he's going into his vault, gets the yo-yo, and he's looking at it, and he starts doing tricks like walk the dog. And
around the world. It goes around Globy. I like that.
Around the world. Yeah, it goes around Globy, walk the dog, and then they turn it into like a little claymation dog kind of a thing. So that's really great bits. But essentially, he has a crazy long list because you think it's only like maybe 7 to 10 things, and he's like, okay, go ahead and print that out. And Conky starts like smoking, and the whole list starts coming out, and it's like,
print that out, will you, Conky?
Sure. Pee-wee.
Envelope. Christmas list. Ooh, excellent, Frankie.
It's like a CVS receipt or something, you know.
I love the way he sort of scoops it up. He doesn't fold it up neatly. He just scoops it all up, and he's going to just stuff it into an envelope. Yeah.
And of course, the envelope is crazy huge. It's like one of
Huge.
those oversized checks, you know, from like Publishers Clearinghouse or something, or a game show, you know. And so he folds it up, he puts it in, and this is where Miss Yvonne comes in.
Yes.
Yeah. And so she comes and gives him, she has a present for him. And this is like,
Yeah. And what is it?
it's a fruitcake.
The first of many.
The first of many, yeah. And one thing that I noticed that they always did a running gag on like the show, like so each episode would have like some sort of running gag. And so for this one, it was like the whole fruitcake bit. Yeah.
Okay, this is the fruitcake. Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
So that was like, I don't know if you want to technical, it's like the idée fixe of the show, I guess. I don't know, whatever. But
Oh, that's a term I'm not familiar with. Oh goodness, I'll be using that one.
it's a musical term. And so Hector Berlioz in his Symphonie Fantastique, so it's like this melody that always keeps coming back. It's like this fixed idea. And so is the idée fixe.
Oh, I get it. It's
Yeah.
the idée fixe. That makes
Yeah.
sense. I get it. Yeah.
So anyway, it reminded me of that, and it just keeps coming back. And of course, later on, there's a nice little punchline to that gag.
There is. Yeah.
But yeah, so he's like, "Oh, fruitcake, yum," and thanks.
and he's carting it around with he's got to wheel it along in a little sack truck.
Yeah, it's so funny because she just hands it to him, and he kind of puts it down and gives her the her gift, which is a cologne or a perfume that's eau de Pee-wee.
Yes. Now I did some research on this, and I found out what eau de Pee-wee smells like. Apparently, it smells like both pee and wee.
Oh no!
I'm sorry. I'm so proud of that.
He'll be here all week.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
That's my only good joke. I'm sorry.
I
I've
love
used it
man.
up
I
too
love
early.
it.
That's it.
They should have used that in the special. But instead she says, "Oh, it smells just like you." And so now knowing with that research, I don't know. I don't know about Pee-wee. Yeah, so
A little aside from the commentary.
Yeah, go
that
for it.
dress, apparently, she still owns it. She says that she still wears. She doesn't. I don't know if she still wears it, but in the commentary, she's saying she wore it numerous times afterwards, like at Christmas events and that sort of thing. Which is
I
nice.
did hear that. I did read that. Yeah, that's really cool. I always like stuff like that. Like when you hear that some of the friends kept things from the set of Friends, and Thor has a hammer somewhere, and stuff like that. I always enjoy, and so when they can actually wear it, or when they actually allow them to keep it, I mean that's really cool. It kind of makes me want to be like an actor or something.
Still props.
What can I take? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Miss Renee. I'm not saying it was her, but they said that the menorah earrings she's wearing, they went missing as well. So she got away with those. That was from the commentary. Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, there's a great bit. So after she has some mistletoe in her hair. She's giving out kisses. She kisses Pee-wee, and she mentions how when you're standing on the mistletoe, you do that, and all the furniture and all
everyone's
the characters
calling her over.
Yeah, like, yo, come over here and give me a kiss. And
yeah, and where did she end up going though? Flory. What does that say? I'm not going to get into it, but I thought that might have been a little bit adult, to be honest.
Well, yeah. So Flory, yeah, you're right. I forgot about Flory. Cherry says, "Give me a kiss." And
they're all saying it. Everyone's calling her. Terry calls her over. Yeah,
Terry. Yeah. Man, I forgot about Terry. So yeah, there's the whole thing. Then Pee-wee, like you mentioned, he takes that fruitcake, and he all of a sudden it like is 1,000,000 pounds because he struggles with it so much, and he puts it on a dolly, and he takes that to the other room to
you call it a dolly? Sorry, I know that as a sack truck. That's what we call them.
What's that? A sack truck? Oh,
a sack truck. Yeah. So
interesting.
For sort of putting sacks on and you wheel them around. So.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. We use them at the store. I work at a Christmas store.
Yes.
And so we, whenever we get our bulbs or like huge orders, we'll put those on and just take them up like that. But yeah, we call them dollies here. So he puts it on the sack truck, and he takes it to another room and starts to unload it because I think he says,
I better go put this fruitcake in the refrigerator before it gets any harder.
That's it. It goes in the fridge. Yeah.
to put it in the fridge so it doesn't dry out or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. And so then he opens the fridge, And I think that's when all the vegetables.
Yes, you get the animation with all the veg, and I think there's a pepper is sucking an eggnog out of an egg. I like that bit. And then the popsicles, the ice lollies are up in the freezer compartment, ice fishing, and they wheel up they fish up a little
I was trying to figure out, like, was that claymation too, or was that actual puppets? And I don't think I could quite figure out.
I'm going for claymation on that one.
That's what I thought, but sometimes their puppetry is actually pretty good, and it reminded me of claymation in certain points. And I mean, I'm no claymation expert, but in certain things, I couldn't tell the difference, and so I think it is, but I wasn't sure. But yeah, that was another cool little bit there, and it's just so funny the way that they seg back and forth between the different the different things, and they're ice fishing. I think they even pull like a present. Yeah,
the present's another fruitcake. That's fruitcake number 2. It's a mini one, but it's still
it's another mini one. Yeah, so this guy's just drowning in fruitcakes, man. So then, he carries the fruitcake, both of them, and he puts them on the counter. And then I think that's when the phone rings. And it's, and it's Whoopi Goldberg.
Hi, Pee-wee. Merry Christmas. I was just calling to see if I could be on your Christmas special.
I'm awfully sorry, Whoopi, but I've already booked too many stars as it is.
Oh.
Yeah,
right.
Before she won an Oscar, but still, that's a pretty A-list star, late 80s.
Yeah, which again is kind of the whole like all walks of life thing we talked about, because Whoopi is like definitely 80s 90s person, and compared to some of the other folks that we'll get later on in the show, I mean it's really like just a whole wide variety. And I know one of the things he always wanted to talk about in the show was how it doesn't matter if you're different or whatever, difference not good, difference not bad, it's just different, and it's okay to be that way.
Oh, this was on the normal show, was it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Something else I missed out on.
That's kind of like his big theme, So it, so I can see him why he used like all these different guys.
Sure, yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, it still kind of surprised me, and of course you get a great bit with Whoopi where she like wants to come on the show,
begging to be let on the show. Like, not this year.
Yeah.
How about next year?
I'm all booked up.
Not next year. Maybe 2 years.
2 years.
Maybe.
Yeah. She's like, I'll see you in 2 years. Maybe.
I a while ago I did a episode where I talked about Christmas, a Sesame Street Christmas special.
Yes, that was a good one.
And I made a big thing about the fact that Michael Jackson's appearance was only like 40 seconds long.
Yeah.
And so what I've done is I've timed all the big celebrities
to see
how long they're on there. And I can tell you Whoopi Goldberg was on there for a staggering 35 seconds. From
wow.
she first appears to last appears is 35. Yeah, staggering. She did a good job in that 30.
She did. But she showed up on set and she's like, you got me for 2 hours. Let's do this. Like that's about it. All right, I'm good. Let's go. But from here, and this is where I always enjoyed this bit of the regular show, he actually goes into the magic screen.
Connect the Christmas dots. La, 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 la. Connect the Christmas dots. La, 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 la. Hey, it's a sleigh. It's like Santa's.
I know, and we meet the magic screen's cousin.
And we meet the magic screen's cousin, which is Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson. Now, I've done a bit more research on this, and because I think the joke is that they're cousins because their first names are the same, Magic, and that's why they're cousins. But it turns out that Magic Johnson's mum is actually the Magic Screen's dad's brother, possibly.
Okay.
I'm sorry. There's got to be a reason they're related. They said they're cousins.
I don't know. The whole magic thing is pretty strong to me. It's family name. No, but yeah, there was always that bit where you would do the connect the dots. Connect the dots. La la la.
Yeah. See. And I don't know about this bit, sadly. This is the only time I see it. But in the show, did they actually connect the dots? Because in this one, they just sort of connect themselves. Is that what normally happens?
The dots would eventually go in a certain way, and then it kind of, they just kind of connect themselves eventually. So it's very similar. But I always really enjoyed it because, the dots they looked magical. And looking at it now, I mean, I'm wondering if it's like early computer work. You know,
It is. Yes, this was this bit again in the commentary. They say that this was the only bit that was done on computers. The whole scene with Magic Johnson in the magic screen. That's all computer generated. Yeah, well, not all computer generated, but they used computers to animate it. Yeah. Well done. Well spotted, sir. Good work.
Well, I mean, it has that kind of feel of that early 80s. You know, like Tron. You remember when Tron would do the?
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. You know, that was also very early computer, and so it kind of had that same finish where they hadn't quite nailed textures down and things like that. And so I saw it and I thought, man, that looks like computer. You know, like computer stuff. So I'm glad to be, I'm glad I was right, vindicated, whatever. But yeah, so it's this cool winter scene, and the connect the dots turn into like a sleigh, and so he turns on, they get in the sleigh. Magic Johnson shows up.
When he first turns up, and you don't see the top of his head.
Yeah,
he's so tall.
he's too tall. He bends down to get in frame.
What is he? He's 6'9".
Yes,
he's huge. So he comes up and it's just, and it's like, it's Magic Johnson. So how do we know? No, he bends down so you can see his head.
Oh man, and so he's like, yeah, Magic Screen's my cousin, and but yeah, so they get in the sleigh because he's like, how about a lift? And so then they take a little sleigh ride. And they go through like a big old snowdrift and
that's it.
Snowbank and whatever. And
they're being chased by a bear, aren't they?
Yes, it's a polar bear. And what does he say? He says something like typical or something like that when they see the bear.
He's like, oh, there's a bear. And he's like, oh, that's the oldest trick in the book or something like
that's
that.
What it was. Yeah. That's the oldest trick in the book. And
something like that.
Yeah. And so they get on the sleigh, and then of course they have their little ride, and it's cool. But I really enjoyed that bit because it felt very wintry. They have the earmuffs and the scarves.
They've got penguins. I don't know. I'm guessing. I thought it was the North Pole, but there's penguins and polar bears. So make up your mind. It's one or the other. We know the rules.
It's got to be South.
Get your penguins at the South Pole, bears at the North Pole. Unless the penguins were on holiday, maybe that's what it was.
Could be. I mean, Pee-wee had a holiday, so I don't see why not.
This is true.
But and honestly, most lay people probably wouldn't even know that anyway. So they're like, yeah, whatever. We can get it.
They all love the snow.
Yeah, exactly. So they come to like, what is it, like a stadium with like a ramp or something, and they kind of jump down the.
Yeah, it's the big ski jump, isn't it?
Ski jump, yeah.
Pee-wee bails out on him.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder what happened to Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
So Pee-wee's back in his place.
So I just got to say 50 seconds.
Yeah.
That was 50 seconds.
50
for
seconds.
Magic Johnson. Yeah, so he's a
longer
little
than
bit longer than
Yeah.
Just a bit longer.
And the whole ride, they're like, Pee-wee's going all out, and Magic's just kind of like, oh, watch out. I mean, there's a reason he plays, professional basketball and didn't go into acting, but but he did good, I guess. He did what he could.
It was lots of fun. You could say he was really enjoying it, wasn't he?
He was, honestly.
Yeah, everyone on it's enjoying themselves. That's what's wonderful about this.
Yeah, and he was very earnest. So that was really nice. But as he lands in Cherry, as Pee-wee lands in Cherry, she mentions like, hey, when are you going to put up Christmas decorations? And he does a whole bit with like, oh no, I was making my list. I forgot to put up the decorations. So he goes to Jambi.
No, I wish I'd remembered to put up the decorations. Did somebody say wish?
Yes. And Jambi, I remember he was another one of my favorites because every time he would do his, grant a wish, he would do that Mecca Lecca Hi, Mecca Heiny Ho thing. And,
I know, and they've got the Christmas version. It's so I've written it down because I don't remember. Mecca Lecca Hi, Mecca Ho 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 Ho. Yeah. Very festive.
Then repeat after me in Jambis. Mecca Lecca Hi, Mecca Heiny Ho.
Mecca Lecca Hi, Mecca Heiny Ho.
Mecca Lecca Hi, Mecca Ho Ho Ho.
Mecca Lecca Hi, Mecca Ho Ho Ho.
But I even love that as he's talking to him, he's like, well, can I have another wish kind of a thing.
What do you think is Christmas?
It's like, well, yeah, it is. So he's like, oh, okay. But as he's saying that, like it gets really dark. The music is like bum, bum, bum. And I mean, it's just, it changes. And, he's kind of like getting
it does, yeah.
Yeah, he's getting angry with him. But then he's like, oh, well, okay, then, yeah, okay. Well, you can have another wish later. which is.
I've got to say, on the commentary, they said his makeup was done by a lady by the name of V. Neal, and she's won an Oscar. She's won 3 Oscars.
Oh.
Yeah, and I looked it up. 2 of the films were Tim Burton films.
Oh, nice.
Beetlejuice was one, I think, and Ed Wood.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Yes,
Well, that makes sense because
pretty impressive makeup he's got going on there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, didn't Tim Burton do Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
He did the first one. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Danny Elfman scored it. And
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yep. In fact, Danny Elfman scored a couple of the of this regular season episodes too, which I thought was kind of neat.
Oh, I didn't. That's cool.
So,
I like Danny
there's a lot of
Elfman. He's good. He's not John Williams, but he's good.
Well, he's got his own quirky style for sure.
Aye,
You hear it and you're like, yeah, that's Danny Elfman. But yeah, I kind of like how they all work together and they know each other, and so it's really neat. But the regular show Pee-wee's Playhouse, I mean, that was nominated and won quite a bit of Emmys as well.
Yes,
for a lot of technical stuff. There was like art direction and makeup and graphic design and things like that, and so it really was a hit. And
it was critically acclaimed, and the kids loved it. Yeah,
and the kids loved it. Yep. John B makes everything happen, and all of a sudden it's like crazy decorated for Christmas, which is super cool. I wish we could do that.
Yes, that would save a lot of time.
It would. Yeah, you could enjoy the season more. But at this point, I think that's when the mail lady comes in.
Reba,
the mail lady, and she brings him her gift, which is of course fruitcake.
A fruitcake number 3. That's fruitcake number 3.
And he does that whole thanks. Yeah, fruitcake. Again, I mean, you get that just like just what I always wanted kind of a bit.
Yeah, thing is though, I think the gift he gives her is a lot worse than a fruitcake.
It's a lot worse. Yeah. Well, first he says, I have something for you, and it's that big giant leg of Santa. Of course. And I was like, is he not really going to give her a gift? Because I couldn't remember. I didn't remember this part. I remember a bunch of parts, but for some reason this one just slipped my mind. And so he gives her the letter, and then he's like, but I also do have something for you. And she opens it up, and it's some press-on toenails. Or press-on nails.
For Bigfoot.
Yeah. She's like, why are they so big? Nails. They're toenails. And she's like, oh okay. It's kind of awkward. She's like, yeah, I see. Oh, all right. And anyway, so then it's at this point that we get our next celebrity guest, which is wheeled in a big old crate. She's like, there was a big package for you. And so they open it up, and it's Grace Jones in like
Grace Jones,
futuristic warrior goddess or warrior princess kind of thing. I mean, and I get it. Grace Jones was known for like fashion, but I mean, it's got like the metal breastplate and this headdress.
Do you know what? Hold on, because I've made one. I've actually made one.
Did you really?
I'm not going to wear it myself, and sadly, the people listening, sorry, listeners, you're not going to get to see this. But let me show you. Hold on. So if you've actually seen it and you remember what she's wearing, it's actually just a piece of foam that they've cut a slit in. It's almost like a square, holding up here. And this is Grace Jones. It's one of my daughter's dollies.
He's got a little doll.
And it's literally just a sheet of foam. I'll put it around the wrong way. And with the slit, and the slit goes over the top. And look at that.
Oh, wow.
There you go. That's it.
That's exactly what
that is it.
And I know visual bits always kill on, are great for the
They are.
podcast,
this is it, yeah. the listeners love it.
They do. It's great. But that's exactly what she's wearing, yeah. Oh, man, that is crazy.
I didn't notice that until I listened to the commentary again, you see, because they're saying, it's just a piece of foam with a slit cut. And I looked at it and it is, I could make one of those. So there you go. I was going to make one big enough for myself to wear, but I thought, nah, let's stick with the dolly.
I got you. Yeah. No, but that's totally what it is.
Told me.
And I think hers is, it's like silver or something. And she got like, this, I mean, I don't even know, bodice type thing that,
That's it. Yeah, the big,
with like
and
a big
massive
black
skirt as well.
And then
now Grace Jones, she's a really interesting one because she's so famous. And because she was in a few films, she was in the Bond movie and
Conan the Destroyer.
Conan, that's it, Conan.
Yeah.
And she never had a top 10 hit in the UK. She had a number of hits, I think like 2 or 3 top 20 hits, but she was really famous in the UK because she was on a chat show called Hearty. If you go on YouTube, listeners, you can see it. Type in Grace Jones Russell Harty, and he had an awful setup where he had guests one side of him and Grace Jones was sat the other side. And so he's talking to the new guests that have just come on the show and sort of got his back to Grace Jones. So she tells him off and slaps him. And he sort of tries to sort of protect himself. Then she starts going to town on him, slapping him with both hands because she's so angry that he's turning his back on her. And I can sort of see her point. Maybe she shouldn't be striking the man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so look out. You should watch it. But for that, she's ridiculously famous for that in the UK. That's one of her most famous moments. I don't know if that made it across the pond, but that's what we remember her for.
I mean, I want to say that she was known for being a little aggressive towards like paparazzi and stuff like that. But
no, that rings a bell as well. Yeah. There you go.
I know she dated Dolph Lundgren.
She did. Yes. Yeah.
Yep. But that's besides that and the two really famous films that she's known for. I don't really know much else about her. I just know, she's kind of like this. I think she was a model, and
she was, yeah.
And then I mean, she's just kind of like this Amazon, really, when you think about her. It's like she would fit in that world of Wonder Woman, and Themyscira and stuff like that. I mean, she seems like she has that strength, even though she's got maybe a little anger.
Well, she's very lithe, though, isn't she? She's not a particularly big woman, especially when you see with the dress, because the dress is quite revealing.
It is,
She's a very slim woman.
Yes,
but still, she's quite imposing. Yeah.
But so they open it up. She comes out, and he's like, Grace Jones, and she's like, "You're not the president. You're Pee-wee Herman."
I know, it would have been Reagan. I looked this up. I checked the year, 88. It still would have been Reagan.
Yep.
So President Reagan was expecting Grace Jones to turn up at the White House.
As one does,
Yeah, of course, yeah. He's. I bet he was sat at home going, "Where is she?"
I wanted, where's Grace? She was supposed to show up and sing, and so she sings a little. She's like, "Well, since I'm here, can I sing a song?" And she sings a little Drummer Boy, and it's. I mean, it's like a cool little bit there because it's odd. It's very electronic, but it's very synth heavy, but it's also at the same time it's really melodic the way she sings, and she's like she's got to be like a contralto or something, I don't know, but I mean she's just, it's nice, and so everybody of course claps and applauds.
I got another bit from the commentary. Apparently because Pee-wee had asked her to be on the show, and it was up to her what she wanted to do apparently. And she was on a plane with David Bowie, and David Bowie recommended that she do this song because it was one that he'd recorded. And they said that they used the same arrangement, but I don't think it.
I don't know.
No, but that's what they said on the commentary. So
Well, I mean, perhaps. I don't recall David Bowie's official recording. I remember it mostly from him and Bing Crosby singing it.
That's
together.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Which
so
is
I don't know what they
definitely
said.
not that one.
They said they used his arrangement, so I'm not quite sure what they mean. But
unless they mean he actually arranged it for her.
Yeah, I don't know. Mate, it's unlikely. They only met on a plane. I don't know.
Yeah,
I said they met on a plane. They were on a plane together. So that's what. Yeah.
Huh.
You're going to have to edit this bit out now, aren't you? Sounds like I'm talking gibberish.
Yeah, I'll drop some of the stuff. No big deal.
All the bits where I'm talking, that goes.
No. That's the best part, man.
When she finishes, everyone's clapping. And Terry, I'm sure it's Terry Dactyl, he goes, amazing, Grace.
I miss that.
I did too. It was only the last time I watched it. I had to rewind it just to. Did I catch that right? And I was trying to figure, because his mouth doesn't move,
right?
But it's his voice, so I'm sure it's him that says it. And her appearance 1 minute 40 seconds.
Oh wow! Well, it makes sense. She sings a song. Yeah.
That was a decent length, that one.
Yeah. Well, then Annette and Frankie are the very next ones, because it was like a hard cut to commercial, where it would have been. And then, of course, as he comes back in, he joins in with
Frankie, Avalon, and Annette Funicello.
From the Mickey Mouse Club and from all those beach party or whatever
party movies. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with any of this, I've got to say.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, sadly, I'm ashamed
in America,
to say. So I didn't know who they were.
Oh, really?
Until this. I've looked into it. Because I don't know because they had a film, Back to the Beach.
Back to the Beach. I remember that film. Yeah.
And Pee-wee's in that. He sings Surfing Bird.
Yeah. The bird, bird. Yeah, the bird is a bird. I remember that. Yeah. Because you didn't expect it coming from him.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
watched the clip. I haven't seen the film, but I watched the clip with
Oh,
him.
okay.
doing his-
Okay, right on. Yeah,
Yeah.
he does do that. The surfing bird. But I remember they already, even at this time, they were kind of. I mean, they really weren't popular. But then Back to the Beach came out, and they kind of had a little mini revival,
Okay.
which didn't last very long. But at the same time, it was like, oh yeah, Frankie and Annette, and the beach, but
They're
yeah,
really good
they were really
sports as
popular.
well.
What's that?
They're really good sports. They're really getting into it. They're really, especially the way Pee-wee treats them.
Oh
Like
man,
slaves.
yeah. Later on, he just gives them bread and water. They're
That's it.
hungry, Pee-wee, and he's like, "Get back to work." It's a great bit. But yeah, so they do like a cool little crafty kind of thing, and they tell the kids how they can do it at home if they want to. And I think she uses a toothbrush and to make like a Christmas tree with a stencil and and some paint, and he uses like a potato to make
That's it. The old
a
potato
candy cane or
stamps. So I remember you doing those as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, he's showing him how, and Pee-wee's like, "Oh, that's awesome. Now make me 500."
Each.
Each, yeah, 500 each. So, I mean, they're just like, "What?" But they get to work on them. So
They do as they're told. We've got to give them
I
that.
don't know why they get to work on them, but they sure do. But yeah, I really like that part. I mean, because I remember also doing the potato thing at school. And so it was like, oh yeah, I remember that. But right away, we cut immediately to Cher.
Cher, what are you doing here?
Well, Pee-wee, I just came by to see what today's secret word is.
This is my favorite bit.
From Sonny and Cher. She's in there as well. And this is where they introduced the secret word, which was also done every show. That was
Yes.
Yeah. And so the secret word turned out to be year.
That was so cool, Cher.
I love the bit where he says, "You know what to do when they say the secret word," and she doesn't say "you scream." She goes, "Ah!"
Yeah.
I love her. she just gets into it. So it's right from the start. She's all smiles, and she's just it's like she's loving it. And this is my favorite bit because she isn't. I know she's always got the best reputation as being sort of the fun-loving type, but she just really gets into it, and she looks fantastic as well. She
really does.
I think she was probably only about 40 then, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because it would have been 88, and I think they were big in the 60s. So yeah, something like that. But yeah, she's got like this nice sequin black dress.
Yeah, like the look she had in the 80s. Yeah, lots of
80s
hair. 80s
yeah.
hair. Yeah, like Bon Jovi in the 80s. Yeah.
That's what was in. You got to have the the curls and the big poofy hair but yeah, even as she's leaving, they say it one more time, and she gives like a nice big wonderful scream, and yeah, it's just good.
She was there apparently because apparently she was promoting her perfume. This is what they said in the commentary.
Okay,
she was only there. The whole thing was filmed in 25 minutes. She was like the quickest in and out, 25 minutes, and she's on screen for 1 minute 1 minute 8 seconds. It's quite a long one for one that doesn't sing. That's got to be impressed.
So if that was done in 25 minutes, I wonder how long Whoopi Goldberg's was then for real.
That's a good point, because I'm pretty sure she was there. I know later on one of them didn't actually come into the studio, but two of them actually didn't. But
Maybe Dinah Shore.
Whoopi was there.
Yeah,
I think.
Huh. I don't know, but because Whoopi's is a pretty quick little bit as well.
Yeah,
but yeah, so
maybe Cher's was Cher's was the quickest out of all the ones that were.
It could be
there.
Yeah, I don't know. I know. I mean, even 1 minute 8, that still is longer than like Magic Johnson and.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Huh. But I know we do that the King of Cartoons comes in.
Blackula.
This is something that I also remember.
William Marshall.
Yes.
6'5". He's 6'5". William Marshall.
6'5". Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a tall guy.
Yeah.
And he looks really regal, when he's got the crown on and the cape. I mean, he really does carry himself like
I know, and you can tell he's wealthy. He's a wealthy man being the king, because he's got 2 fruitcakes.
Yes. Yeah, not just one. Is it a fruitcake? No,
right.
It's 2.
2 fruitcakes.
You got to have the fruitcakes. But yeah, I remember him from Blackula. That was what I remembered him from.
Yeah, I don't, because there was a sequel as well, wasn't there? But I've never seen Blackula, but I did look it up. I did, yeah. So because on the commentary they talk about that's what he did before, so I looked it up. Yeah, yeah. But
the thing that I remember most about it is that I always hated the cartoons that he showed, because every time they'd say, it's the King of Cartoons and he's going to be showing a cartoon, and I always expected something like Thundercats or He-Man.
Okay,
of course,
but it was
some
old.
Yeah,
Classic.
it was always like something from the 30s, really obscure, like a Fleischer cartoon or something. And
It was a Fleischer cartoon. You're right. Yeah.
yeah. And so it was
But he
always
doesn't
that
present
thing.
it, does he? He doesn't turn it on.
No, he doesn't. This one, he actually lets Annette do it.
I love that bit. 'Cause
Would you mind if I said it just this once?
Be my guest, Annette.
I've always wanted to do this. Let the cartoon begin.
Could I do the honors?
please.
He's like, and the way he looks at her, he's like, of course you could. Because you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he's going to say no.
He
But the way he does it, it's very good delivery. Yeah.
Yes,
I like that.
yeah. What else? Oh, well, and then I thought, when I remember watching it, and I thought, because she turns it on, and instead of a cartoon, it's Joan Rivers on like Hollywood Squares.
Of course
or
it
something.
Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah, and she and I don't know, for some reason I thought, oh, he's gonna take back the remote and turn it on himself, but no, I mean, he still lets her try again until she gets it right, which I thought was cool. But Joan Rivers is there to say, Merry Christmas, Pee-wee, and she has a shirt or a blouse.
Yeah,
or
the
something.
Batwing
It's
jumper.
like a Batwing, yeah, and it says
Just
Merry
Christmas all the
Yeah.
way from arm to arm. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of those flying squirrel suits or something.
Yes. And they filmed that on the set of Celebrity Squares, apparently.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and she is on there for 9 seconds. So hers is the
It's
shortest appearance.
shortest one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really quick.
Yeah, it makes sense. Hers is really a cameo. The other ones, at
Yeah.
least they kind of have a bit here and there, but it's really just a quick cameo. And then we cut to like a cute, cartoon from the 30s with
Now do you know what, this cartoon, I've actually got it on DVD, would you
Do
believe?
you really?
So
That's
years
awesome.
ago, it's probably around the same time I bought Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas Special. I went through a phase of buying loads of Christmas specials on DVD, and there was one I bought. It's like, I can't remember what it's called. I should get the DVD out. It's loads of Christmas cartoons, and it's got the original cartoon of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, not the
the cartoon one. Yeah.
not the stop motion, not the
Right.
Rankin Bass, the one that was before that.
Before that, yeah.
And it's got this one on there as well, which is called Christmas Comes But Once a Year. And the original one's 9 minutes long, and they only show 2 minutes of it. And it's got now the old boy in it. That, if you haven't seen it, kids, an old man comes along and he goes to an orphanage and makes loads of toys for the kids that have all the old rubbish and that.
Yep.
It's Professor Grampy from some of the Betty Boop cartoons.
Oh,
And
I thought he
this
looked
is the
familiar.
only time he ever appeared in colour, apparently.
Oh, wow.
And the only time without Betty Boop. So what they loved about the when the King of Cartoons came on was what if a show was running long or short, they could play more or less of
Or
the
less.
cartoon that he brought on, you see. So this one, like I
That's
said, is only
awesome.
a 9-minute cartoon, including credits. They reduced down to 2 minutes of it.
see, that's really cool. That's like me. If I'm running behind on editing, I'll do a mini episode really quickly.
Yeah, you kick out the English guy, and it's just you chatting about Pee-wee's Playhouse. Yeah, that's probably my favourite episode.
It's like, yeah, I ran out of time, man. I'm sorry. I had to cut most of your lines.
You didn't make it, Jack.
But then we get to Pee-wee doing like a little ventriloquist bit with Billy Baloney, the
That's
little,
it.
yeah, or Billy something like that. Yeah, the little doll. And he's like, Pee-wee's not here. It's my show. And but then Pee-wee's
I
like,
love it. I love it when it cuts back and Pee-wee is just talking. He's not
just
trying
talking.
to.
He's not even trying to do the
Yeah, not even
ventriloquist.
trying. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, but I mean that's like a bit that I could see Paul Rubin doing like always. That seems like
Yeah.
something he would do. I mean, it's very up his alley. But I thought that was a cool little thing there. And so of course we get the word of the day again. I think. Let me see. Yeah, we get the word of the day again, and so then it's snowing as he.
I
looks
know,
outside.
Kitey. That's Kitey's big moment. Tells us
Kitey.
it's snowing outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "All right, let's go play in the snow." And he goes to get his snowsuit on.
Does he have
But
a quick change?
Yeah, he does a quick change, but as he passes by Frankie and Annette, still making the cards, and they're like, "Yeah, it's snowing. Let's go play in the snow." And he's like, "Well, did you finish all the cards?" They're like, no.
No.
He's like, "Well, get back to work."
But Pee-wee, no.
So then he goes out to play in the snow all by himself. But I love his outfit. It's like that green. It's like a green snowsuit with snowflakes all over, and I think he's got like one of those. I don't even know the names of the hats, but like that hat with the
ear bits.
ear
yeah,
bits.
covering
Yeah,
ears,
yeah. I don't know what it's called, and of course the scarf and And so he shows us, I think, how to make a snow angel. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then he starts doing monster footprints or something in the snow.
Yes, to like random tracks, mysterious footprints. So
Mysterious
that,
footprints. Well done.
to see if what's his name, Cowboy Curtis, can find him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's like, I'm over here, and so then he surprises Cowboy Curtis, and which is a young Lawrence Fishburne.
Pee-wee.
Which I'd forgotten that it was Lawrence Fishburne in that role.
Oh yeah, obviously, only 8 years ago was the first time I'd seen it. So
right.
To see him there, it's like, and his career just took a dive after this, didn't it? Straight down the plug hole,
straight down to the Matrix. Yep. But I love, he's got the regular Cowboy Curtis outfit, but I loved his jacket, his coat. It's like this purple coat.
Yeah, and a big long scarf as well. Yeah.
Yep, the big pink scarf, and I think it's got like some fringe on it.
Yeah. I
saw that, I was like, man, that's like Joker style coat right there. Or I could see Prince wearing that coat or something. Yeah. It was just, it was very hokey, but at the same time, he pulled it off very well. But here we cut to those the triplets.
The Del Rubio
Del Rubio, that's I always forget their names.
You hear that? Yeah. It's the heavenly intonations of the Del Rubio triplets. Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening.
You can tell that they're a little bit older.
A little bit. Not from their legs, though. Goodness me, they've got the legs of a 20-year-old.
Yeah, they're for real.
Which is why they're showing them off.
The tiny little, I don't know if they were shorts or skirts or something, but they had...
Do you know what I was looking? I'm pretty sure they're skirts, but they're skirts that are
very high.
You can call it a skirt. It's like a thick belt, really.
Pretty much, yeah. But, I mean, even their harmony, while they still harmonized well together, you could tell they didn't really have very much amplification because, like their parts are kind of low, and it almost seems like they were a little bit off in some bits.
See, this is the muso, because I didn't notice that, but you obviously got your, you know your music much better than me. So
yeah, that's the part that stood out to me. But they still harmonized pretty well, and I enjoyed them. And
they were in another episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse in season 4, so this was the first time they were in it.
Oh,
and
okay.
Then they appeared again in like the regular show. I did a little bit of research. So Rubio means blonde in Spanish. So yes. This the blonde triplets. And do you know what they were big? They were famous from the 40s going through.
Oh,
none of they never got married. None of them. They never had any kids either.
Oh wow!
Because it was all about their music career. And then I think the first one passed away in '96. And that was it. That was the end of and they never performed again.
They never
after
sang
that.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Wow, that's kind of sad.
I know, but they look. I think they look like they're having a lot of fun, which is good.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they each had guitars. I think.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't remember what they were wearing except for those skirts, but yeah, you're right.
Very short skirts.
They were very they were very in shape, and of course, they had their hair all done. I mean, I think they sing "Winter Wonderland."
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they all had their guitars, and I would have liked to have seen them like in the 40s, honestly. Just to hear them harmonize and everything
in their prime.
Yeah,
but I think they were like more popular in the 80s. From what I could gather, it seemed like they sort of had this. They got popular in the 80s, and there were a lot of shows in it. I can't remember the other shows. There was other shows in the 80s where they. I think Married with Children. They were on an episode of that.
Oh, maybe you're right.
Yeah,
but from here, I think we get to they build the snowman, and then they stare at it and it comes alive and that kind of thing.
Why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer.
Yeah, it'll last longer. One of those bits. But then Pee-wee goes from here to meet Little Richard.
That's it. Yeah.
And they're ice skating, and
he's got a pillow strapped to his backside. I watched it again. I watched it. It was only the last time I watched it that I noticed. Is that a pillow? He's got a pillow tied to his back.
I missed that.
Yeah. Because he just keeps falling over. And apparently, when this is what is said on the commentary, it's like he said to them, "When I fall over, do you want me to scream like a white woman or a black woman?" Apparently, that's what he said to them.
That's what he said.
Yeah, it's like, give me my direction here.
Great gosh almighty! Little Richard, are you all right?
You know me, Pee-wee. Always fall down.
but I'll get right back up and try again.
I didn't know there was a difference, but okay.
No, I know. Obviously, Little Richard knows.
Yeah, I guess he does. But yeah, he's trying to ice skate. He keeps falling over. He's like, well, you try, and then he's like, I give up, whatever. And so then Pee-wee was like, no, it's it's not so bad. You got to try. And he's like, oh yeah, you do it. So then we cut to like a wide, shot.
Yeah.
Of course, you can't see his face, and it's like it's got to be a professional.
The guy is Scott Hamilton, who won the gold at the 1984
Scott
Olympics.
Hamilton. I did see.
Indeed.
Again, I didn't. That's something I didn't know.
But
I think he calls him Hans, right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, but when the guy comes up afterwards and it's like, "Did I do okay, Pee-wee?" That's not Scott Hamilton. That's like Pee-wee's double. So so it's like three guys.
So three guys
Pee-wee,
play
Scott
Pee-wee
Hamilton,
Herman.
and it's double.
So, oh wow, yeah, because they do a whole Spaceballs bit where he was like, "You captured his stunt double," kind of a thing, So okay, so it's Scott Hamilton and Hans, I guess. I don't know if that's the name of him. And Wow, yeah, that's a whole thing there. You can go crazy thinking about that, but but I like how the next scene is them
sorry,
inside.
just Little Richard.
Yeah,
1 minute 40 seconds for Little Richard.
140. Okay, so
yeah, but the Del Rubios are 1 minute 23 seconds, and they sing a song.
But a lot of those Christmas songs are really short anyway.
Well, their version, they do a pretty short version of it, don't they?
Yeah. But yeah, so now he's inside, and they're drinking hot chocolate, and then from here we get to Katie Lang.
Katie Lang, yeah.
She sings. I don't even remember what song she sings.
Jingle Bell Rock, I think.
Jingle Bell Rock, yeah,
yeah.
That's right. Because I remember it was kind of odd. She goes like really hammy in like certain spots.
She really gets into it, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She goes
like,
crazy.
Like some of it is nice and melodic, and she's singing in like her normal voice, and then randomly she just starts bursting out.
Yeah.
Like
really
Broadway voice or something. I don't know. It's like a whole different style of singing that I'm used to from her.
Oh, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing bushels of fun. Now the jingle bell hop has begun. I said jingle bell, jingle bell.
She was really interesting because out of all the stars, all the special guests, all the others were really established. Like some of them have been around for like 40 years.
Right.
But Katie Lang, this was before she sort of really hit the big time, before she got really famous. She was like the only...
Constant Craving, yeah.
Yeah, but it's before Constant Craving. I think it was after she did Crying with Roy Orbison.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, but she's on there 2 minutes 26 seconds.
Wow.
And her scene, that's a long one. And her scene was the longest one to film, apparently. Took over half a day.
Really?
For 2 minutes 26. That's what they said.
Oh wow. I guess there is a lot of puppetry involved with her.
Yeah,
so I guess that makes sense.
I've got to go back to Little Richard because this was really interesting. On the commentary, at the start when he's trying to ice skate, the magic screen's holding his hand. Apparently, he broke the arm off the magic screen, and he had to stick it back on again.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's again thanks to the commentary there.
Yeah. Well, it's good. I mean, I'm glad that they fixed magic screen because I mean, it was like a staple of the show.
Yes.
You got to have magic screen, man. But yeah, so then I think he gets after Katie Lang. He gets that call from Dinah Shore. I think that's next.
Is he sure? I'm thinking we got the Penny cartoon before that.
Oh, I think you're right. I think you are right. Yep. Because oh man, and I used to love the Penny cartoon.
That's really good. Yeah, do you know what? Because I've never seen it before. I've only ever seen one Penny cartoon, and it's this one.
It's this one. Yeah,
it's one of my favourite bits in it. But I did find out that the guys that did Wallace and Gromit, which is like a real massive in the UK, Wallace and Gromit are massive.
Yeah.
Really Christmas thing as well. Like all their big specials with all their cartoons were always shown Christmas Day or Boxing Day in the UK.
Oh, wow. Nice.
They did Penny in the first season, only the first season though, apparently.
I wonder why. I mean, I know that after the first season, they ended up moving to a different studio in California, and they had a bigger space and things like that. And so they could do a lot more. And the production, I mean, they were spending like $325,000 per episode.
Yeah,
which was like equivalent of like most of the big sitcom shows then.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, it's really neat, but I think you're right. Yeah, I think he's hanging up his stockings, I think, is what comes next.
Yes.
Yeah, and so
he's got that massive stocking.
Yeah,
is that going to be big enough? But he's got. Well, I've got the left one here.
Yeah. Right, because he'd asked Santa for so many things.
Yeah.
Because the whole nutshell of the special is that Pee-wee's just doing all these things to kind of fill time until Santa comes and
Santa
brings him his
gets there,
presents. Yeah, and he asks for the that crazy long list, and so you're right. It's the penny cartoon, and
then I think it's the Countess and Zsa Zsa.
Oh, are they next? Okay, I think I might have written it down.
Maybe we have to check this. Maybe I've written it down wrong.
But yeah. So you're right. The contest is next, and Zsa Zsa.
Okay, and Zsa Zsa.
Yeah, Princess Zsa Zsa.
Prince, you're right. Yeah, because she was married to a prince, apparently.
Something like that. Yeah.
And
so she comes out. She's got all the the get up on, and she looks lovely. I always had a thing for Zsa Zsa and Ava Gabor. I mean, they were back when I was.
She was,
little.
She was 71 when they filmed this.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
and she's on screen for 25 seconds.
So not quite the shortest, but pretty much.
No, it's pretty short.
Yeah,
she's actually in the studio. I love you, Pee-wee.
I love you.
Why did you marry me?
I think that's all she says, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Phoebe, I love you.
Then why don't you marry me?
I love you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And
I think she got a fruitcake as well. She got fruitcake for him.
Fruitcake, yep. This fruitcake is awesome. Oh man, yeah, and I love this bit because it is such a payoff at the end. It's just
with the fruitcakes.
Yep. So there's that, and then let's see what comes on. Oh, then he gets the call from Dinah Shore. That's
Dinah Shore.
That's the next bit, and so she does the 12 Days of Christmas. She sings
that's
the
right.
song.
No, it's more than 12 days, I think.
But well, that's what it starts off with.
Yeah,
but somewhere around like 5, because he gets another call midway, I think, and it's
Oprah.
For Oprah, yeah.
Yeah, that was filmed in Chicago, apparently. So she wasn't in the studio.
Oh, okay, nice.
And Oprah's on screen for 20 seconds.
20, so that's also one of the shortest ones there.
Yeah.
But she
doesn't say much, does she?
No,
just
it's
wishes
really
him
just
happy
like,
birthday.
hey, Merry Christmas, Pee-wee. And he's like, who's this? And she's like, it's Oprah. And
it's Oprah.
Like, oh, bye, Oprah. And that's about it. I got Dinah Shore on the other line.
This is Oprah Winfrey.
Hi.
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 I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Oprah. I'm going to have to call you back. I have Dinah Shore on the other line.
On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 5 golden rings.
Which is funny because nowadays you think of who's the bigger star, and it's definitely Oprah.
Oh, yeah.
You say Dinah Shore, and most people don't know what.
I didn't know. I can't lie to you. I had no idea who she was. I had to look it up.
Yeah.
She was. I think she's the oldest one that's on there. She's a year older than Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah.
So just everyone knows, she's on there. Her first bit is 1 minute 37 seconds, and then we see her again later for another 4 seconds.
For another okay, yeah, because she's still singing 12. So we see her. I think it's around number 5 where Pee-wee sneaks out. He's getting bored, so he kind of slinks down out of his phone booth. Essentially, I don't know what you'd call it, and he sneaks a doll that looks kind of like him. It's like out of a mask. And he just sets it up there, so it's like she's singing to him. And then I think later on we come back to her, and she's on like number 20. Like on the
20 pounds of fruitcake, 19 CD players, 18 bags of nachos, 17 bodybuilders.
Bodybuilders,
yeah. That's what you need. 17. Only 17?
Oh, that's it? Yeah.
Give me all the bodybuilders.
But as he sneaks out, he runs into is it Ricardo? I think it was
yeah.
And,
Feliz Navidad, blah, blah, blah.
Navidad, yeah. Which is the part that I remember most. Like out of the whole special, I remember that part most.
Well, him not being able to say Navidad.
Well, no, because just the Feliz Navidad in general. Because like it was huge in South Texas, like a big Hispanic community. I mean, like where I'm from, we're like 98% Hispanic, really, and we're like right on the Mexican-Texas border.
Yeah.
So I mean, kids know Feliz Navidad, and they might not know Jingle Bells. Like that's how.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's like how big it is.
So Dwayne Bailey covered it a couple of episodes ago on Tinsel.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
and it's not popular in the UK at all.
Yeah, I can see that.
You'll hear it, but it's so rare. This song barely made the charts in the UK.
Yeah, and I definitely can see that. And I know it's huge here just because we do have like a huge Hispanic population.
Yeah, I think in Australia and New Zealand it's fairly popular as well. I think probably because they got the warmer climate.
Yeah,
and I think it's more of a summer song or like
I know what you
it
mean.
sort of
Well,
suits the hot weather better than
which is a lot of times. I remember growing up, it would be like in the 70s or 60s or 70s for Christmas.
Oh wow, okay.
So it was mostly green. That's like most of my Christmases. So yeah, you're right. It definitely makes sense. It just fits that climb better than some like Britain where or England where
it's dismal.
Yeah. Well, some would say jolly, festive.
Well, Christmas
I don't
is
know.
nice.
But yeah, I know what you mean. So he gets that whole, Feliz, like you said, Feliz Navidad and Feliz blah, 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 or blah, blah, whatever. And so he says, well, no, we have piñatas at Christmas, which we never had growing up. We always had piñatas at like birthday parties.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know there were some people that had piñatas at Christmas time. So
okay, yeah, because that surprised me as well. I thought it was more of a birthday thing.
Yeah, same. Yeah, but then that's where we get Charo. Charo.
That's where we get Charo. Yeah,
like that's all we need. And then she's there, and she's playing guitar, and she starts singing. While he is blindfolded, trying to break the piñata.
I love that bit. When he's walking around in the background. It's really good.
It was so awkward. I was like, please don't hit her. Please don't hit her. And I knew they wouldn't, but I mean, it scared me, man.
Yeah. Well, he's got the blindfold on. You don't know what's going on behind that blindfold.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it had to be pretty sheer because I don't think they would have put him so close to her if it wasn't. But still, I mean, it just, yeah. So she starts singing Feliz Navidad and he's going around, and it's a nice little bit, I know that I remember watching it growing up and like kind of relating. You don't get a lot of like Mexican American kind of things, and so especially when it comes to Christmas, so it was a nice little touch that that I really enjoyed growing up. So
she's got a present for him.
Of course she does. That's what it is.
I forget how she says it now. I forget the.
Oh, it was a pastel de.
That's it.
Pastel de fruta.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? That sounds delicious. And she even says, like, ¿Cómo se dice pastel de fruta? A fruitcake. He's like, oh, of course you do. Yeah, I forgot about that bit. But she was really cool. I enjoyed it. Again, that was kind of her thing. She'd have like the skirts with fringe and things like that, and the coochie coochie was like her big catchphrase kind of.
Do you know what? If you go on Wikipedia, it's trying to find out how old she is. There's no definitive answer. There's not. It's like she was either born in 41, 40, 45, 46, or even 51. And I think they're sticking with 51.
That's a huge difference there.
Well, she got married when she was really young. And I think she claims that, or they claim that she forged her birth certificate so she could get married at such a young age. But a lot of it doesn't add up. So you never know. We never know how old she is. Oh, man. But she's on screen for 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Okay, we know that's a pretty good chunk of change.
That's a long one, that is. I don't know if that's the longest, but yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but I like her outfit also. I mean, everybody's wearing like real spangly, glittery outfits here. So it's really cool. Yeah. And she has that cool hat as well. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. But then she says she wishes him, a prospero año.
Like, oh no, sorry, I did
he's like, what does año mean? And she's like, year.
I like it.
But that's when Miss
Renee.
That's when Miss Renee comes out. Yep. And she says she doesn't celebrate Christmas because she's Jewish. Of course, yes. She also has another present for him. But then she kind of explains Hanukkah. And he's like, so you don't get any presents? She's like, well, actually, we have 8 nights of presents. And you can actually see in his face, he's like, what?
What's those presents?
It like lights up. Yeah. She gives him like a ton of fruitcakes, doesn't she?
It's one for every night. So she brings one in, and she gets him 7 more. So in case I don't see you, here's 7 more.
Yeah. And then they sing the dreidel song.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. The dreidel, 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 which is cool. And then he spins it, and then it kind of goes out into the
dinosaurs.
Which was always my absolute favorite part because I was a huge dinosaur guy when I was little, like in first grade and kinder. I loved dinosaurs so much. So I used to love watching the dinosaur bits.
And they're all Jewish.
And they're
because,
Jewish,
of course,
yeah.
It's
I didn't
BC,
realize
it's
they were
before
Jewish.
Christ, of course, yeah. Makes
That's
sense.
true. It does make sense. Yep. I didn't even think about that.
One thing again from the commentary. So the guy that one of the animators on the dinosaurs, called Don Waller, he went on to be the one of the computer graphics animators on Jurassic Park.
Oh,
doing
wow.
Dinosaurs. Yeah.
That's really
and he
cool.
was he also worked on Dinosaur, the Disney film. I don't know if you remember that. It was literally just
I
about
do.
dinosaurs.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
computer generated one.
I never saw it,
Yeah.
but I remember it.
Yeah.
You know, when it was coming
So there you
out.
go. See, he started off on Pee-wee's. They could see he had the skills when it came to the dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs are his thing, I guess, man.
Yeah.
You know, you got your niche. You might as well stick with it. But then he gets to Frankie and Annette again. And, you know, they're like, we're done. He's like, oh, good. Now you can start on the envelopes. And they're just looking at him like, what? And I think he even says something like, oh, let me count them all to make sure they're there.
That's right. Yeah. Just kidding. Now you can do the envelopes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But now everybody, like all the main gang, from the regular show are there, and they're decorating, they're getting the tree ready. It's the gang plus Frankie and Annette, and they start singing.
Because you got the little bit with Randy, and he wants to know what the true meaning of Christmas is.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
And then
I completely forgot about Randy, because they're doing the tree, and then all the lights go out, and it was
because Randy's pulled the plug, hasn't he?
He has, and he's like, that's not nice. And so then Pee-wee kind of tells him, you know, he's like, hey, magic screen, help me explain the true meaning of Christmas.
The true meaning of Christmas is the celebration of the birthday of the Christ child. There was no room at the inn, so Joseph and Mary stopped to rest at a stable. And there were 3 wise men who followed a bright shining star to Bethlehem, where the little baby lay in a manger. And they brought him presents, and all the angels sang.
And that is the true meaning of Christmas.
And so then they get into the birth of Jesus and the Magi and the star.
Which is good, I think, you know, because I think they were quite proud of the fact that they brought that up, because a lot of Christmas specials really skip over it, you know.
Yeah,
Charlie Brown did it,
It's
and they did
something
it.
That's not
and that's
popular
pretty much
anymore.
it.
And it's like a little kid's children's pageant too.
That's it, yeah.
Which is, you know, so I think that's probably how they got away with it. You know, it's like, well, we'll have like a real kids pageant. You know, I don't know when it's from, but it looks like
they shot it in a school, so they filmed it for the show. Apparently,
Oh, they did film it. Okay.
That's what it says here. So I believe that.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right. But I love it because it's got like, so when I was in kindergarten, I played an angel named Hark. I was Hark, the herald angel.
Okay.
It's a dumb little gag, but it was like for a little show. I remember I had the halo, and it had that tinsel garland. You know,
with the coat hanger from the
exactly. Same thing with the wings. It was all that tinsel garland, and you could see it like all over Pee-wee's, and so it reminded me a lot of like my childhood. And so seeing them there and seeing the angels come up with it, I was like, man, that's really cool. But you know, so he explains like, and that's the true meaning of Christmas. And so then Randy's like, oh, I get it now. I'm sorry. You know, I like Christmas or whatever. And so then they decide that's when they sing the whole Christmas carols. It's like a carol.
This is it, yeah.
It's like literally like a phrase or two of each song. You know, it's like jingle bells, and then they jingle bells, you know, and then all right, oh come all you faithful, oh come, you know, like they just go through them.
Yeah, sleigh bells ring. No.
Yeah, no, I hear sleigh bells. Yeah.
Jingle bells! Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. It came about a midnight clear. It came upon a midnight clear. Deck the halls! Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. Oh, come all ye faithful. Oh, come all ye faithful. Sleigh bells! Sleigh bells ring. No! Sleigh bells! I hear reindeer on the roof. Do you know what that means?
You've had too much eggnog.
No, it means get out the milk and cookies.
But he also tells them during this part what he's going to do with all the fruitcakes he got.
That's right, yeah.
And so we cut to, they're building another room in the Playhouse.
Having another wing built. Yeah. Two rather hunky men.
Yes, they
One
were.
with his shirt off, I
With no
noticed.
shirts.
Middle of winter, got his shirt off.
I don't know. I guess those fruitcakes are very well insulated. But yeah, so then, you know, he hears the sleigh bells, and it turns out it's Santa. And
yes.
He comes down and he's like, did you bring all my, you know, here's some milk and cookies. Did you bring all my presents? And he's like, well, so he kind of tells him that there's no room in the sleigh for anybody else's presents.
That's it, yeah.
Because you ask for so many things. And so he's like, well, okay, tell me how that goes. Essentially. And then everybody's like, Pee-wee. And so he has a little moment like, all right, you can have some of my presents. And he's like, well, I need all of them. So then he goes aside, and of course it cuts to like black, they cut the lights on everybody else and just a spotlight on him. And
all right. Which presents do you want, Santa?
All of them.
All of them? All of them?
Christmas is the time we should be thinking about what we can do for others. What we can do for others.
Okay, you can have all my presents.
Oh, and there's one other thing that you can give me too.
What more do you want, Santa?
Your help in delivering these presents to the children of the world.
And he's freaking out because he's not going to get any presents, but then he remembers what he had
big crisis of conscience there.
Exactly. He remembers what he said earlier, where it's a time where you have to start thinking about like how to help other people. And so he comes back and he's like, yeah, you can have all my presents. And then Santa says, well, there's one more thing I need from you. And he's like, what else can you want? Like, come on, man. And it turns out that he's like, I need you to help me deliver all these presents.
Yeah.
So he's like, me? I can be one of your elves and ride in your sleigh. And he's like, yeah. I mean, it's such a sweet moment.
It is.
It really makes the special. And I like it because, you peppered throughout, even though you have all the zaniness peppered throughout the whole thing, you get hints of like the message of Christmas.
Yeah.
And so it really is like, oh, it gets you, in the feels, as they say, I guess nowadays.
Indeed.
But yeah, it was really cool, and I enjoyed the actor that played Santa as well. I thought.
Yeah. So Aaron Fletcher, he also played Santa in an episode of St. Elsewhere.
Oh,
and another show called Gloria, which I wasn't familiar with. It's like a spin-off of All in the Family. So he hasn't got a lot of acting roles that he's done. So I'm wondering if maybe he was a professional Santa Claus.
Could be, yeah.
Maybe that's what he did, yeah. But he passed away only 2 years later, and he's only in his early 60s.
Oh wow, that's pretty young.
Yeah, so 2 years after this, 1990, I think.
But he really looked like it, I mean, I liked it. I liked his look. Normally, I don't like my Santa with glasses, but for him, it worked.
Do you not with glasses? Why is that? No,
I have no idea. Especially because I have glasses, so you'd think I'd kind of feel simpatico or something.
Yeah, you wanted to wear two pairs, maybe.
But I don't know what it is. Just something about it. I just always enjoyed my Santa with that. Maybe from the Coca-Cola ads.
He's not got glasses.
Not usually,
no, I suppose not.
Yeah, he usually doesn't. And then of course,
I've got a friend. I've got a friend who is actually a professional Santa Claus.
Oh, do you? Nice.
Yeah, he's not much older than me actually, but he went grey early. So he grows his beard out for Christmas.
Nice.
He looks fantastic. He spent a fortune on his suit and that. But he doesn't wear glasses, but he does when he's being Santa Claus.
Oh, nice. Huh.
Yeah, doesn't need them, but he just wears them for the...
Well, yeah, and then, you think about David Huddleston, and, I mean, he didn't really wear them.
No, that's true. Yeah.
And so I think it's just my perception of Santa Claus. He doesn't really wear glasses. And so I used to hate it, but I enjoyed it in this one. I mean, I'm over it now, but back when I was a kid, I was like, Santa doesn't wear glasses. He's magical,
You've ruined Christmas.
Come on, guys. But no, he did a great job. And then he uses his last wish, that extra wish that Jambi gave him, to wish for peace on earth and for everyone to have the merriest of Christmases and a happy New Year. Right on cue. I love it.
Thank you.
It was a cool special, man.
But that's not the end. That's not the end. The very end. If you go past the credits.
I didn't watch past the credits. I missed that part. What happened?
Fast forward it. Dinah Shore is still singing in the phone booth. That's the very end. And then she realizes that he's not there. She's like, Pee-wee? And that's the end.
You got to tie up that loose end.
You have, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, man. I recorded the other night with Scott from Jingle Jank. And
Oh, wow.
we did Married with Children. There's a bit where, at the very end, the Bundys, they go to the mall and they just leave, like, Marcy and her husband are just upstairs in their house. Like, they never address what happens after that.
Okay.
It's like they go upstairs because she's about to faint. And then the rest of it is just the Bundys downstairs, and then they leave. And so it's another loose end that they don't tie. Yeah, that they don't tie.
See, that's why this is the greatest Christmas
There
special.
you go.
Ever.
Exactly.
All the loose ends, everything's tied up.
I think you've just been challenged, Scott. No, I'm just
What does he think that?
No, he doesn't. He really loves that Bundy special. It was the very first Christmas episode of Married with Children, but
okay,
that one's like one of his favorites. And but I just thought it was funny. So yeah, this was a great special. I really loved it, and I kind of have to ask, man, what would you say is your happiest moment about the special? Because I know you don't really have a lot of memories with it. So
no, I don't. Sadly, I know I'm an imposter.
Happiest moment, I would say.
It's not from my memories aren't from the 80s. My memories are from like when I bought the DVD 8 years ago when I first started watching it. Because sometimes, I went in there blind. I didn't know what the Pee-wee's Playhouse was. So when I first watched it and I saw the intro, I just thought, yeah, I'm going to love this. And I did.
Yeah.
And that's my happiest moment, definitely. Yeah.
Right on.
The first time, the intro, just thinking, yep, I'm going to, and I did. It's just, set me up, the whole thing.
Nice. For me, it's definitely, I remember watching it as a kid. And I mean, I wish they had showed it again, but I remember watching it and everything about it, it was great. And it was exactly like the show on Saturdays, and it just amped up. And then the Santa at the end was great. Although I remember not liking the glasses, of course, but I thought, because I think he has like some holly in his hat also. And so I thought that was a cool touch, because you don't usually see a Santa with like a little sprig of holly or something.
No, I don't remember that. That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was great, and then to be able to ride, to see him ride in the sleigh. I remember as a kid thinking like, I want to ride in the sleigh. Like that was my thing, and so yeah. So that's what I'd say. But now we come to my favorite part of the show, which is a little segment that I like to call "Gag Me with the Spoon." So this is where we do our best impression of our least favorite moment of the episode. So as the guest, I'll let you go first. Just kind of set up the scene.
Okay, so. My least favorite part is Grace Jones singing Little Drummer Boy. Now, I say that it's not anymore, because when I first watched it, I didn't care for it. I thought it was a bit strange. Right. But the more I watch it, the more she really gets into it, and she's having so much fun.
Yes,
and I think it was sort of tainted with the idea that I had of Grace Jones before.
Oh, right.
Like I say, attacking a TV host. So, but the more I watch it, if you look at her eyes, she's really enjoying herself, and she's really, being playful with it. So I like it now, but when I first watched it, I didn't. So that's my least favorite bit. The sad thing is, I've been practicing singing her version of the joke, but I can't do it. So what's the deal? What's the deal here? Why am I doing this?
Just cause. So the winner. So I'm going to leave it up to the listeners, and they'll vote, and the winner gets a totally rad Christmas sticker.
Yeah, but I'm already getting a sticker.
That's true, because I'm pretty terrible. I always lose.
No. That's not why. I'm getting a sticker because I left you a review today.
You did? Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh well,
so I get a sticker anyway. So why am I doing an impression? I don't need to. I got a sticker
because you're a good sport. Because I'll let you plug your show afterwards.
oh well, that sounds fair. It was a 1-star review, but I still left you a star. I'm sorry.
Oh well,
you probably won't see it because it's on the UK iTunes website. It's a 5-star review. I can't remember what I said. But yeah, it's
you figured out how to game the system.
You can't see the reviews on overseas, can you? So
I don't know. I haven't checked, but no, I don't think you can.
No, you can't. I can only see the ones in the UK, but I know I've got ones in Australia and the US as well. But yeah, so there you go. But I'm getting a sticker anyway, so I'm just doing this for the glory.
So now you're doing it for the bragging rights.
Bragging rights, yeah. We all love. Okay, here we go. Oh dear. I'm going to listen, hear it in my head, and I'm going to give it my best shot. Listeners, please forgive me for this, okay? I feel, I forgot to say, you know, when she's doing it, she starts doing a striptease. She takes off her gloves.
She does take off her.
I know. We got to mention that when it was on. Sorry, right, here we go. I can do this.
Well, you don't have to do that part now if you don't want to.
It might help me get into the moment of. I'm really hoping your impression is awful because mine's not going to be.
Well, I'm going to be doing Pee-wee, so I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
He's kind of hard.
Okay. I think you might. I want another sticker. I want 2 stickers.
There you go. I do have 2. I have different kinds.
Oh, okay. Right, I better give my best shot then. Okay, here we go. Come, they told me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. This is awful. A newborn king to see, pa-rum-pa-pum. That's all I'm doing. I'm sorry. There's nothing like it.
No,
kids.
that was good. That was good.
I'm sorry.
It's hard to capture Grace Jones. She's pretty unique.
Yeah,
but so
I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that was my worst part. Should have come up with something else.
So the part that I mean, and I liked a bit. It was a good bit, but I don't know, was something about the way he delivered the line that it just kind of got on my nerves. And so it's a part where he's making his list, and then he tells her, he tells Conky to, that's everything, and he's, that he's been an angel or whatever. And Conky's like, well, do you think you've asked for enough? And so he goes, and I'm going to do my best.
There we go.
Pee-wee Herman here. He goes, no, but I didn't want to appear to be greedy. Print that out, would you, Conky? That's terrible.
Oh, man, you're going to get a sticker now. Your house is going to be covered in stickers. I'm glad I left that review.
Oh, man. But I will leave it up to you, listeners, and I trust that I probably won't win. But if I do, I get nothing. That is the rule. I get a big fat nothing. But now I really do. I need to know. G.I. Joe taught us that knowing is half the battle. What would you say is the other half?
The other half of the battle, well, that's easy. Is coming up with an ingenious way to use the unwanted fruitcakes you get for Christmas.
Oh, that's a good one. That's so much better than mine.
Can I get a sticker for that?
Yeah, for real. Mine is just, if you can ask for if you can ask for an extra wish, do it.
That's not a bad one.
No, I like yours way better. Jack, I mean, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun going over the special with you and just going through everything. It's been a blast, really. What do you want to
you're
plug?
A good man.
Tell me about your show.
Oh, so I run this tin pot operation called the Total Christmas Podcast, where I sort of every 2 weeks I shout at a microphone about. Stop saying that. I try and cover everything to do with Christmas. I talk about Christmas songs that don't get much airplay. I talk about your worst Christmas present ever. I talk about your stories of shame to do with Christmas. My daughter comes on and sings occasionally. And
beautiful.
Robin sings. Just generally, I think it's a lot of fun, and it's just each episode's about 40 minutes. It comes out every 2 weeks. And it's the Total Christmas Podcast. So can I just also say, the Total Christmas Podcast does sound very similar to Totally Rad Christmas.
It does.
But mine was there first by 3 or 4 days.
He was. It's true.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up.
I did have the idea back in last August, though, but I don't know if that counts.
Is that right? Is that when you came up with the name? Is that true?
Yeah. And
no, you beat me there. Yeah, because I came up with mine.
And then just because of the season, I never got to start it. And then because of quarantine, I thought, hey, I have time now. Let's do this. And so that's when I started.
See, do you know, I came up with the name around Christmas last year. So yeah, you do beat me on that.
But you actually got there first. So but definitely check it out. It's so much fun. And
you've never listened to my podcast.
I have too. How dare you? Definitely check out Total Christmas Podcast. And I think I'm going to end it by saying, Christmas is a time we should be thinking of what we can do for others. So check us out on our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're feeling as generous as Miss Yvonne wearing mistletoe, leave us a review on iTunes. Not only does it help us reach more people, but you also get a free sticker. Later, dudes.
On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds.
Accommodations provided by the Los Angeles Registry Hotel.
Partridge in a pear tree. Pee-wee?